ladies and gentlemen, and my August audience. Most important, I say August in the month of August because if not for my audience, what's the point of having discussions? Good evening, my valued audience, and thank you for taking time off your busy schedule and giving us this 1 hour of your precious time. Reemarkabl.com has a distinct focus to bring to you stories of sense and not sensation, and to share stories of some remarkable people who have broken barriers and created their own path. Our panel today is a panel of officers of the Indian Armed Forces who spell grit and glory. Grit that they displayed in their path-breaking journey of service to the nation, and the glory they felt when they wore their uniform. They are here to share with you their side of their story, real time, based on facts and not fiction. Our story today is about real and not real. Life in the Indian Armed Forces. It's a discussion to share with you some facts on the Indian Armed Forces, which is dynamic an organization, which is evolving year on year. I feel a sense of deep pride to introduce to you my panel today, officers of unshakable strength and on board, pilot IAF, and also the batchmate of Gunjan Saxena, Flight Lieutenant Gunjan Saxena, and current CEO of Evolate India. We have with our yet another power woman, Captain Yashika Hatwal Tyagi, Kargil war veteran and a motivational speaker who's walked the talk at the highest terrains of our country. And Lieutenant Colonel M. Mushir Ahmad Haidri, retired, Army Aviation. So ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, as this discussion also aims to question how far can one go in terms of creative liberties, and how it is the responsibility of filmmakers to take research, documentation, and factual information with utmost seriousness. As a career journalist personally, I have been my personal driving force was my ethical inner compass, ladies and gentlemen, to respect my subject first and not to make it an object to achieve my goals and for my benefits. And ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to quote a very respected filmmaker. His name is famously Buddy, but he is also known in the circle as respected Baldhayan Mukherjee. He is an award-winning filmmaker based in Mumbai. He is the co-founder with his wife Mona Lisa of the Little Lamp Films, which is produced and also feature films, namely Teen Kahan, The Violin Player, and The Marichi Jappi, which is under production, and also a documentary. He clearly states, and he doesn't mince words here, that films is not a source of entertainment alone. It has a responsibility of documentation. It also has a responsibility of portraying the truth, because gullible people might consider it to be the truth even if it is not. Hence, sticking to facts, taking the pains of being on the side of truth, whether it is dramatic or not, becomes the responsibility of the communicator, filmmaker, researchers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very strong statement, because as creative professionals, we all need to know probably where to draw the line. I have another interesting, while I was doing this whole, feeling of getting this conversation going, I interestedly started getting a lot of feedback, a lot of emails, a lot of WhatsApp messages. But one message that stood out is something I want to share with you. And this message, ladies and gentlemen, is from Mr. Sanjaya Basu. As we are going through our presentation, Sanjaya Basu is the son of a wing commander who laid his life after getting injured in the 1965 conflict. He was one of the first people who made the IAF, 40 people. His entire story is right here in front of the screen, ladies and gentlemen. If you all can read while I'm speaking about him, he feels extremely hurt. He feels passionate about the movie and how it has been wrongly depicting and projecting one of the most respected forces of our country. He says, I have been so disturbed at the horrific representation of the IAF in the movie Gunjan. My father was one of the first 42 officers who formed the IAF in 1947 and gave his life in 1965, though after an injury he passed away. This is not a service which can ever imagine to behave the way it was portrayed. It was disgusting of him and should be named and shamed for what it tried to show the men in blue to be, which they definitely are not. Thank you, he says to Reemarkabl, for taking this up, because somewhere he feels a bit happy within that, these issues need to be spoken about. Sanjaya Basu, due respects to you, and most importantly, due respects to Wing Commander, Mr. Basu. Thank you very much, Sanjay, for sharing this with us. But I move on now to my power panel. Flight Lieutenant Prerna Chaturvedi. Thank you so much for being a part of this discussion, Prerna. She is a power woman, the current CEO of Evolet India. She is an experienced military aviator with an interesting, diverse background. She has been a helicopter pilot, flying in the most adventurous terrains, from glaciers to mountains to deserts to plains and more. She is the helm of mission control for many search and rescue operations. Earthquake, flood relief, warhead trials, Operation Vijay, amongst others. An alumni of the Air Force Academy, Helicopter Training School, and IIM. You will find her with her sleeves rolled up, toiling steadfastly with her team. She firmly believes in walking the talk and walking strong. Prerna, as her name says it, is an inspiration to many, from the cockpit to the corporate world. Prerna was also the batchmate of Flight Lieutenant Gunjan Saxena, the protagonist of the recent film, which has received actor and the culture of the Indian Air Force. You have strongly stated that, Prerna, I remember in our conversations, you've strongly stated that officers like us weren't damsels in distress. Would you like to please throw some light on how do you think some movies have misrepresented facts? And you have also told me in our conversations that you have the deepest respect for your colleague, Flight Lieutenant Gunjan Saxena, who is a girl of absolute ethics and was a highly respected officer of your forces. The platform is over to you, Flight Lieutenant Prerna Chaturvedi. Once again, thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, Reema. I think at the onset, I must say my introduction, I'm going to call ahead. I'm really, am I audible?
No, you weren't audible, Prerna. Yeah, can you try it once more?
Is that better now?
Yeah, thank you.
So, I think it is my proud privilege and honor to be introduced by you in a way that you have said. It really, really and I'm really honored to be here, and in whatever little capacity we can to do justice to what we are going to say right now.
So true.
Also this subject is loaded with sensitivity to begin with. there is a subject which I have coined, which is called the war of women at war. So the women who are in uniform, they're at various wars before and after the war zones they enter. So since the subject is loaded with sensitivity at multiple levels, I would like to begin with the subject that you have started. I look at the subject of the movie, the Gunjan Saxena, as far different from the individual Gunjan Saxena that I know. So, as far as the individual, the officer, Flight Lieutenant Gunjan Saxena is concerned, I had the proud privilege of having served with her, of having flown with her. We were together in a training academy and also while I was in service before. So I think I'm appropriately placed to say that I have huge respect for a professional like her. She's not only the torchbearer, she was 6 months senior to me. And with those kind of seniors, you see the footsteps that they are following, you see the kind of examples they are setting for the people or for the students or for the youngsters entering the academies after them. A thorough professional, huge respect for a person like her, a flag bearer. Their team and even the ladies before her who joined. Even if I look at the women like Pamela. If you look at for Archana Kapoor, if you look at Cheryl Datta, if you look at Guni, oh, they are like absolutely epitomes of professionalism. And these are the women that we have seen in the forces who have done well and who have brought a fantastic good name to the breed of women officers in this segment. But if you look at the commercialization of the name, which has been coined as the name of the movie, it's a different subject altogether. It is not that same Gunjan Saxena that I know. Huge respect for her, but if you look at the commercial aspect, I'm not a viewer at all. I don't watch too many movies. So if I look at a movie of that type, perhaps not, perhaps for a person like me, it may not excite me too much to watch a movie of this type. But at the same time, you have to realize that it is a cinematic expression wherein some parts and some pieces have been taken forward by someone and made a commercial entertaining story out of it. Entertaining, yet I'm not sure what the aim of objective of making that movie was. I will come to that later as we get into this discussion. I'm not sure what was the objective. Was the objective to motivate? Was the objective to make a biopic? Was the objective to make a damsel in distress become a heroine? What was the objective? Because as I see it as a layman, I'm sure Sushil and Yashika would understand this very well, that when I see the movie, the hero of the movie is not Gunjan Saxena. The hero of the movie is Janvi Kapoor. And this is where all of us are getting it wrong. The moment I see the hero of the movie is Janvi Kapoor. The movie is glorifying her and putting her in a fantastic image. The way I know Gunjan Saxena, the woman that I adore so much, I'm so much in awe of. She's a thorough professional. She's no damsel in distress. She knows how to manage her way in a society like this. She is the torch bearer. She's the flag bearer of getting women into the forces. She's the one who learns, who knows how to live with the kind of people she's working with. She knows how to chart her way. She knows this is the team of flag bearers, including Yashika, including myself. We have carved our way into the forces. We have built the road, we have carved our road, and we have learned to live. We are the ones who have created the norms how women would behave and would be looked at in this community. So they are damsels in distress. I again would say the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
They are they are the hero of the real
yeah, sure.
life.
Yeah.
So perhaps the objective of making this movie
Mm,
was something else.
mm,
It was a biopic. And that's where we are all possibly getting it confused. The moment we label it as one,
mm,
perhaps he's the only one who can say what was it which was 100% truth, what was it which was 90%, what was it wherein it was 70%. But for a layman, it would be absolutely different or difficult or impossible, I would say, to figure out how much is the truth and how much is the creativity and how much is the cinematic freedom. Where is it? बॉर्डर फिल्म में वो गाना बज गया, वो गाना उस टाइम बजा था कि नहीं बजा था बॉर्डर पर, nobody knows. So if it is absolute fiction,
mm,
it is very easy to figure out कि कि वहां जब वहां पर जब फायरिंग चल रही थी तो डेफिनेटली गाना नहीं बज रहा था. Right.
mm,
So things are different when you look at something very very closely and try to figure out कि इसमें कितना सच और कितना creativity है.
mm,
That's where I think the illusion is setting in,
mm.
and the illusion is causing the confusion.
Sure, sure. Mm. So you're clearly saying that, Prerna, that none of y'all, the girls, were never damsels in distress. And you're saying if it was a fiction, yes, but they're using that sensitive word called biopic. So you're saying, how can you consider this as a biopic of the officer Gunjan Saxena, who I know, right, Prerna?
True. Because when we entered academy,
Yes.
I
Yes.
the Gunjan I know was a warrior at heart. Is a warrior at heart. Is a warrior at heart. Someone
Mm-hmm.
who's who's worn a military uniform is mentally prepared to garner a territory and establish a role. We are not there to scream for equality. We are there to be known as we who are. I don't want to be seen as a man. Happy to be seen as a woman, but as a woman the way I am. Not a tomboy, not a damsel, not a princess, just the way I am. This is my choice to be in a profession. I don't have to be the queen. I don't have to be a flag bearer. I don't have to be a warrior. I don't have to pretend to be anybody else but just myself. That's the beauty of it all, the way we all have entered this territory and that all fought for. Fought not in the literal sense,
I
but and this is where um, I understand that the story would be different for every woman and for every man who joins any profession, not only the forces. The story is going to be maybe different for her. The story would be different for Yashika, different from for Mushir, and different for me. Perhaps, and it all depends on the kind of people they were, the time and place you were, the people who were your seniors and instructors, the people who were your colleagues in the course. There are so many variables at so many places, but yet the organization remained the same. So perhaps one person, maybe I would have felt a hardship at 10%. Maybe somebody else would have felt 50%. Somebody else may have felt 90%. But the fact remains that the organization stood in support and supported and helped you carve the way. What we were there for, not to fight for equality, but to be offered an equal opportunity. And
get it.
this is where we felt that the organization stood forward, came forward to offer that opportunity in a form. और किसी भी सिस्टम को बदलने में, अकस्टम होने में, अकोमोडेट होने में वक्त लगता है. It takes generations for a culture to change. If we fight to change a culture within a family in a generation, if you change a culture from grandparents to parents to your own kids, culture to change इतनी generation लगता है. How much time do you think it would take for a culture to change within an organization?
Yeah, yeah.
It is the onus, the responsibility is on the flag bearers or is on the torch bearers, and we are consciously aware of it. When we enter a territory like this, we are prepared that yes, we are charting a new territory, and it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be a cakewalk. And this
Beautiful.
was the fact that brought us all in, because it wasn't a cakewalk. And we were all made of a different metal, of a different wiring, of a different mindset, that we were all set to carve this territory and walk the path.
Yes. Hmm. So you're also saying very clearly, Prerna, that if the film would have celebrated the strength of that girl, you would have been doubly happy.
Thrilled.
But they
I would have
all
been
see it
thrilled.
in a different light. Yeah, I get you. I so get,
10%.
feel
Maybe
you.
the hardships are 20%.
Yes.
But the 80% is camaraderie. Where did that go?
Yes. Yes.
When I
You're talking.
attended, I was the only one in my course. When I joined the academy,
Hmm.
there was no other woman in the academy other than me in the flying branch. So I'm just giving you an example. Now, if you look at it as a hardship, when my attendance used to go, the attendance used to be 23 plus 1,
Yes.
23 male cadets
Hmm.
and 1 woman cadet.
Hmm.
My attendance for first 3 months to the course adjutant, it went like 23 plus 1 present, 23 plus 1.
Hmm. Hmm.
But after building that rapport and the team spirit and the course mate spirit,
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
attendance started going as 24 present.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That was a very, very progressive mindset.
3 months, because you did not want to
Yeah.
play that woman card. You'd never played that damsel
Yeah.
card. You never played out. It's just because you realize that it is you who's entering their
Yeah.
territory.
Hmm. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they are accommodating, you too need to accommodate and adjust and
Yes.
conform. You need to conform to the
So
rules.
true.
The moment you are forthright, and when they realize that she's working 200% of her
Yeah.
capacity, who
Yeah.
can overlook that? Who can overlook the fact that she's working 200%? And this is the role and responsibility of
Yeah.
the torch bearer, of the flag bearer, to perform, to be able to manage everyone's perceptions, to be able to make everyone comfortable. Only the organization cannot be held responsible to make us comfortable. It is our duty as well. We have come forward to perform there.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we have to perform. Where is the doubt?
Yes.
But yes, when they see you walking in the right direction, everybody conforms. So perhaps if they would have looked at this aspect also, how the organization, how your classmates, how your instructors, these are the people, you have to think, these are the people who've never ever worked with women. If they are able to look at you and look at you as an individual, not as a man or a woman, it's an achievement for them too, not only for myself.
Yes. Prerna, that's beautiful. And you said you were the torchbearer, and I'm so with you because I take immense pride when I look at you and when I look at Yashika. You I don't know what you guys have done to me. You'll have changed me today while I'm talking. I'm all the more strengthened as a woman. Prerna, Yashika, thank you so much.
Thank you.
From one torch bearer, ladies and gentlemen, my audience, my so precious audience, thank you for being with me. Thank you for being with us. Because there's another remarkable torchbearer, Captain Yashika Hatwal Tyagi. She is a Kargil war veteran and the first lady officer, army officer of the Indian Army to be posted to high altitude and extreme cold climate areas like Leh, Ladakh, and she served the nation in Operation Vijay. She was commissioned into the Army Ordnance Corps in 1994. She volunteered for Operation Rhino and served in counter-insurgency operation areas of the northeast of India. She fought the Kargil War. Ladies and gentlemen, hold your breath when I'm saying this. Despite being 5 months pregnant, do you get that? She was 5 months pregnant, ladies and gentlemen, when she was in the thick of the action, shoulder to shoulder with her male brethren. and became the first lady officer to earn a battle report and 2 medals. We are talking here of an officer who walked on fire in deep ice. She didn't walk a simple path, but she was pregnant and walking on fire literally. Today, as a TEDx and a George Talk speaker, she is currently pursuing her passion on impacting lives as a motivational speaker. Her family also has a rare distinction of having all 3 sisters in the different services of the Armed Forces of India, namely Army, Navy, and Air. Captain Yashika decided to wear the olive uniform at a tender age of 7, ladies and gentlemen, when she saw her father's mortal remains come home wrapped in his olive uniform as he laid his life serving the nation. Her life has been a wonderful journey, as she calls it, on a road less traveled by women, and she wants to continue to move and find new territories. She is also named as the Warrior 2.5 by one of the radio channels. Captain Yashika Hatwal Tyagi. What more can I say? Do I have to tell the world that what you said to me just 2 days ago, that the armed forces is the only probably organization that trains you to kill and also trains you to die? Yashika Hatwal Tyagi, the platform is open to you, Captain. Thank you so much.
Jai Hind, Reema.
Thank you.
And Jai Hind to all the audience out there. And Jai Hind to the great set of panel that is here. Prerna, I admire you, girl. Way to go.
Beautiful.
Am I audible there, Reema?
You're very beautiful. Yes, you're good.
Okay. But before I begin, there is something that I would like to say to everyone out there, especially to all the girls out there, especially to all the girls who want to do something different in life. And the words are, तू खुद की खोज में निकल, तू खुद की खोज में निकल, तू किस लिए हताश है, तू चल, तेरे वजूद की समय को भी तलाश है. So with these words, I think my idea of how I wanted my life, how I wanted to look for my own wajood came about. You have given such a wonderful intro for me.
You deserve it. Yashika? Hi, can you hear me? No.
We were given the name Lady Officers. The number was Women's Service. But mind you, we never thought of ourselves as women or ladies. We were there as cadets. We were doing the same training as gentlemen cadets, taking just about the same ragda, trying to prove, not to the world, but trying to prove to ourselves, do I have it in me? You know, that is the army tagline. We say, do you have it in you? And when you feel, what is actually army looking for? I am not at all dividing it between male and female genders, because I think that is all a big crap. Pardon my Fauji lingo here. Well, we are officers. We are supposed to have only 2 things when we decide to wear the olive greens. One is passion, and the other is attitude. Passion to stay true to that uniform. It's not easy. You wear the uniform, आपने कफन ओढ़ा है. You should be trained to kill. should be ready to die. Have that attitude of a warrior. Everything else is taught in academy. Everything else is taught in academy. जब आप एसएसबी के लिए जाते हैं आपसे कोई ये नहीं पूछता आपको हथियार चलाना आता है आपसे ये कोई नहीं बोलता that whether you can run the BPET or certain kilometers of run or you can do obstacles. No. What they are looking at is if you are caught in a hand-to-hand battle with enemy, can you still look at that enemy eye to eye? Take out that bayonet and khukri and charge, shouting the war cry. That is what army is looking at. They are not looking at a woman or a man. They are looking at a potential Fauji.
True, Yashika.
So I am very, very, very sure that when Gunjan Saxena was told that her movie is to be made, somehow, that is my gut feeling that she would have shared these thoughts with the movie makers. But you know how society sometimes stereotypes. And another thought that comes to my mind is that this movie is 20 years too late, you know. I honestly think that the closing shot of the movie should have been the lady fighter pilots roaring into the sky. And I'm really looking forward to another set of Lady Air Force pilots bringing in another Rafale into the country.
Wonderful. Absolutely.
They can do it, they will do it, but at the same time, we must appreciate the fact that there is a life cycle to everything.
Sure.
The wheel takes its own time to turn. You cannot have a juggernaut rolling and going out of control. Army is a huge organization. It cannot take decisions in a snap. Take a decision, weigh it, judge it, value it, analyze it, and then decide from here what is going to be our next step forward. No organization wants to retract on the decisions. So here we are not fighting for any constituency or we are not looking for any votes of popularity. Forge, and when I say forge, I mean all the three services here.
Absolutely.
It's a very serious business. Wearing this uniform is a responsibility. When a Fauji wears a uniform, and again, the uniform for a male or a female officer remains the same. Uniform does not differentiate between the genders. Uniform celebrates the person. And ever since a person who decides to wear the uniform wears it throughout the career, mind you, throughout the career, it is a journey to take pride in that uniform, to decorate that uniform, with medals, with ribbons, with that submarine of naval officers, or with badges of squadrons, or wearing that Balidan of special forces. You look at an officer, you look at a Jawan, you look at the olive green uniform, you don't have to ask कि आपने कहाँ नौकरी करी है, आपकी कहाँ कहाँ सर्विस रही है. That uniform by itself is the introduction and the entire CV of that officer or the Jawan. When I decided to wear uniform, as you mentioned, well, I was very small, lost my father. I just wanted to wear uniform. I will not say it was a dream. I will say